Hello, and welcome back to the second special of Season 3 of The Anime Club.
Y'all don't understand. Sekhie, did an entire little pose, the video feed that we have running for our Zoom calls is actually going to end up in the video.
It's probably not, because I'm not even recording
Yeah.
that. I'll just do something separately. I'll just be like, yeah! Or,
Yay!
3 and 2. Now I need 2 and... That's how it needs to be. 3 and 2. Alright, anyways, so I wanted us all to do this. I don't know how long it's going to be, but we all watched El Malloy, Grace Note, right? The special, and then talked about it and that sort of thing. So I wanted to do something similar with One Piece, but a little bit different. So we have officially finished the first saga, East Blue, right? Which has been recapped into a single movie. So, I could have just shown them the movie, but what's the fun in that? No, we have to struggle through 53 episodes.
53 goddamn episodes, emotional damage.
Yeah, so technically, they finished the important parts, but I also didn't show them Warship Island. So, East Blue Saga is episodes 1 to 61. I showed them 1 to 53, and then skipped the filler arc at the very end. So, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the East Blue as the first saga of One Piece, right? Considering the fact that there are 6 sagas pre-time skip currently and 3 post-time skip. They're, up past 1,000 episodes now. So how do we feel? Let's start with Knick Knack.
I mean, I enjoyed it for the most part. I think there were 2 arcs, just looking back, that I remember being generally pretty negative on. Usopp's arc I remember not caring for all that much, just because it felt like it went on to a little too long.
Village.
Yeah, and Baratier with Sanji?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, his arc, that one just felt even worse. It felt like Usopp's arc, sort of, on steroids.
Which is really funny, because a lot of people say that Baratier is the first good arc of One Piece.
I can't say. I must be on crazy pills then. I'm sorry. Maybe in the manga it feels better paced. In the anime, though, it felt like it went on way too long.
But how do you feel about it as a jumping... So we have officially assembled the original crew, right? The original 5 or so. This is all the people we meet pre-time skip. They finally left the East Blue. They're entering the Grand Line, the place where their journey starts, basically.
I mean, they're all charming characters in their own right. Maybe... I could have used one more challenge at the very end to show their teamwork. Something something mountainous in scale.
I forgot to have them watch the last episode of Warship Island, which was not filler. It was canon, and it was about Reverse Island, so...
Reverse Mountain?
Yeah, Reverse Mountain. My bad.
I don't actually care all that much. I just need to...
Vorn, how do you feel?
Well,
Same questions.
As I said, in the previous part, this is kind of a meh for me, because mostly we have seen, we have gotten a little bit about the main crew, but I feel we haven't gotten enough, and, then there's a whole just shit ton of side characters, where we have little to, we got at least a little, a good enough amount for some side characters, but it just feels weird. And then you have some weird arcs where it's Usopp's, as Knick Knack was talking about, where I just hate Usopp. It's
No, okay, so you are supposed to at this point. Usopp is not fully redeemed in the eyes of One Piece, in my opinion, until Water 7.
And when is Water 7?
That would be episodes 227 to 325.
Got it. Never.
Isn't that the last arc before the time skip?
No, that's actually Summit War Saga, which goes up to episode 504.
Oof.
The time skip is post that. I think officially they get back from the time skip around episode 517. I actually sat down, I don't know how much I'm going to get the boys to watch, but I actually sat down and I parceled out all of One Piece up to the return from the time skip into sections that I could put in the hat. So.
I don't know, it'll depend on how long this podcast goes for. It'll depend on whether or not we murder Sekhie by the end of, what's What's an arc I know that we haven't watched yet?
Skypiea.
You might want to think about twice before we murder Sekhie, because she is our editor.
Yeah, you're gonna have to listen to your own voice if you murder me.
I've edited my own videos.
So I have a better proposition for you than Knick-Knack. Instead of murdering her, we can just tie her up and do Chinese water torture on her.
No, we'll just lock her in a padded room. That just works.
What the fuck, Vaughn?
We lock her in a padded
here for some
room.
wholesome murder.
Look, I know that I'm not the most mentally and emotionally stable person, but I feel like a padded room is going a bit too far. Excuse you. Unless you also put me in a bubble, because then I could bounce around the room. That would be fun.
Good God, guys. Good old-fashioned wholesome murder. What is wrong with you people?
Hey, we're all crazy.
Okay, Realm. So Realm, you're the only
Yes.
person besides me who's seen past this, right? And you've seen up into Alabasta. I don't know if you've seen to the end of Alabasta, but you've definitely seen up into it.
Well, okay, so I forget, when does Alabasta end again?
So Alabasta ends at episode 130.
Yes, I technically did, because I made it into Skypiea.
Okay. So, because I have one of our other friends who's been a guest on the podcast before, Cece. She's also seen up to the end of it. So, with that perspective, right, that you've seen the second saga, right? Yes. How do you feel about East Blue as the introduction saga to One Piece?
I'd say, okay, so as an introductory, it's definitely a good introductory, like, to getting used to the whole series. It's got some growing pains to it, obviously, just being the older show that it is. Mm-hmm. But I think it works well for an introduction. It's just a little slow for kind of what anime has changed into over the past years.
I think certainly that's true. I think, in my opinion, I'm about to commit sacrilege, but the 60, the 60 or so episodes, 61 episodes of East Blue, I personally think could probably be condensed down to like 24.
Yeah. And if they wanted to keep it a little bit on the longer side, I'd say maybe 36 if they wanted to give a little bit extra.
Yeah, I think this definitely, like, in the modern day, if you wanted to like keep the same kind of like attention spent to each individual arc but shorten this slightly, you could definitely just like cut it in half, just like 30 episodes.
I think especially at the fight scenes, you could really streamline a lot of those if you just sort of reworked them.
Yeah, imagine if you didn't have to finish Luffy's fight scene between like 3 different episodes. It just happened all in one.
Yeah.
That'd be hella cool.
Yeah.
Get rid of some of that recap downtime.
Yeah, I think there's certainly, like you said, growing pains. Like, there's a lot of unnecessary faffing in the early seasons. And, oh god, the recaps are killer when they really get into them, because they can go for like 2 or 3 minutes of the actual show's runtime. Naruto does it too really badly sometimes, where the recaps are just ungodly long.
Yeah. The recaps I can understand, like, if you're watching this like week to week or whatever, but if you're binging this, they really kind of kill the pace of the episode.
I appreciated the recaps because it meant that watching more than the 12 episodes, I could skip like the first fifth of the episode.
Yeah, I think I really like East Blue as an opening arc to One Piece, but I think it's taken me a long time to like East Blue as like a set of arcs, right? Because I've always maintained that, my favorite parts of One Piece are Dressrosa, Water 7, the Summit War arc, just coming back post-time skip. Like, my favorite section of episodes is the 5 post-time skip, like the return from the time skip episodes. And Alabasta, of course. So East Blue was never kind of on my list of parts of One Piece that I would cite when I talked about how much I loved it. But I have to say, man, going back, watching it again now, Arlong Park just hits in the perfect place in my heart. I love Smoker's introduction. I do not like Usopp's. Don't like that. A lot of people say that they don't like the buggy arc with Nami before Arlong Park, but you know what? I have a lot of nostalgic love for it now, having watched the other 1,000 episodes of this show.
I mean, the buggy arc was long, but I don't feel like it was that. It wasn't like Usopp's or like Sanji's where it felt like it dragged for too long. It could have been a little shorter, but it felt kind of irrelevant, but it wasn't that big. It was inoffensive.
Also, even though it's not a background arc for any of our main characters, Buggy is a recurring side villain for basically this entire show. So it's actually, like, in retrospective, I really like it. Like, I want to say pre-Summit War, I really didn't like Buggy's introduction because I was like, huh?
And I forget, doesn't he become a gag villain, like, much later into the series, Buggy?
I mean, he's a gag villain now, but he becomes a bigger gag villain. Yeah, spoilers, of course, for potentially future stuff. But, yeah, it wasn't until I saw that bit much later on, and then coming back to watch this now for the podcast, that I'm like, oh, you know what, I actually really like that introduction to Buggy. Like, cool. Made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside about Buggy.
Yeah.
And I think I like our main crew so far. Like, we don't have, like, exhaustive backstories to each of them. Like, we're just kind of, we kind of got the emotional highlights to their backstories, like Sanji starving, Nami's town being basically taken as indentured servants or slaves, like Usopp's father leaving him, you know. We got the emotional highs and lows of all the characters.
Yeah.
It makes you feel stuff in your heart.
I don't know, like, I kind of, rather than focus on Buggy for, like, that last, let's see what the character's doing, I felt like we should have just seen, like, a different character that was personally tied to the crew. Might have been a little bit more better, but I don't know. I don't know, who's that, that girl that, like, Usopp was trying to protect again?
Kaya?
Kaya? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, her name's Kaya.
Yeah, I feel like we might have seen her because she was supposedly sick and, like, I don't know.
But we do see her in a... don't we see her at one point when the bounties are released? And
yes.
We see her
right after
back.
Arlong.
Yeah, after Arlong.
Oh, okay.
Just for a brief moment. Nothing story heavy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Vorn's point is he kind of wishes that the side characters and villains tied a little bit more into the main characters than they often do.
I mean, maybe, but I mean, then I think, like, Kaya. What does Kaya have to do with, like, Sanji? You know, like.
Well, but that would have been brought some more character development for Usopp if you've spent more time focusing on a character that was connected to him or something along those lines.
Maybe. I think at this point, though, East Blue is this is the failing of East Blue is because they're still introducing characters so frequently that a lot of the side characters we meet are only connected to one or two of them, rather than the side characters that we meet once they've become a full crew, right, and gone into the Grand Line. Then they start having experiences with these characters as, like, a full cast.
If I can, the best villain in East Blue, in my opinion, was Arlong.
Well, Arlong is...
And Arlong is, like, unlike a lot of the villains, Arlong felt fundamentally connected to Nami's story. You don't necessarily get that with a lot of the characters. They might be tangentially or thematically connected, but their presence could be switched with really any big, scary pirate villain, and they'd have the same sort of impact that they do. Except for Arlong, who has to have that role in Nami's life.
Yeah, which is part of the greater world building in One Piece, because you've got the fishmen and humans being two separate races, and there being racism evident in the One Piece world on both sides of that conflict.
Yeah, Arlong was nice, just long. That's my problem.
Well, I mean, yeah, look, I got nothing for you if you have a problem with the long arcs. All I can say is buckle up, Buttercup, it gets worse.
Yep, I know. That's why I say
Dressrosa
never.
is like... Fam, Dressrosa is like 250 episodes.
Okay, but is it like one long fight scene like a lot of the East Blue arcs are? Or is it a little bit more like Logue Town where they're plot threads that interweave in different
That
things?
genuinely depends. I think Luffy's fight with Doflamingo in Dressrosa lasted for like 13 episodes.
Oh, goddamn, no.
Like, I remember
that.
watching that week to week, and it was...
It
was
we
like...
get that far, Vorn, that's... I know, I've heard of Dressrosa. I've heard of, who is that villain again?
Dofi. He's my favorite.
That
I
is...
actually have a figure of Dofi somewhere around here. He's behind my screen, so you can't see him.
That is one of Sekhie's favorite villains.
He is my favorite villain.
And from what I understand, it's a pretty damn important arc.
Yeah.
So we can't skip it if we get that far.
But I doubt we're going to get that far, because that's post-episode 500.
Yeah.
That starts at episode, like, 600.
Yeah, aka Neverland of we never reaching that place ever.
Watch me just absolutely push nothing but One Piece forever.
So let that be the hint. So I'll just say the next thing we're watching is Peter Pan. We're going to Neverland.
Up and away we go! Off to Neverland! But yeah, I think on the whole, retrospectively, I like East Blue as a saga, but looking on it from like the perspective, trying to look on it from the perspective of someone who's just watching it to get into One Piece, right, for the first time, it's not the best pacing-wise. The animation isn't fantastic. And it's just a little hard to sit through if you're trying to binge it.
I can see why people say read the manga on One Piece a lot.
Well, I think a lot of that just comes with like the time sink it would be to get into it with anime versus manga. It's much faster to read the manga.
Like, longer fight scenes are a little bit more tolerable in manga because it goes a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but everything goes quicker in manga.
Yeah.
Okay. Vorn, just skipping a moment of plot is never a valid answer in any manga or anime.
No, I meant in like the manga, the fight scenes. Like, it don't got words.
Yep.
I can just go away.
No, because in the manga they have like actual shit going. Like you have to be reading the blurbs to hear what they're saying.
Oh, there's actual
Unfortunately
blurbs. Oh yeah, no, I'll read that.
It's not just like a bunch of art of like him punching the dude for 15 pages.
I don't know. I feel like
I don't know, it feels like that watching the anime.
Turn around and make it like one of those flip in it. Like,
Sometimes I wonder if Vorn's ever actually read a manga when he makes comments like that. Like,
Yes,
there
I
are
have.
voice bubbles. They're talking.
I
Like,
have,
imagine
and there
a
are
manga
some
that does,
mangas
like,
where
the
it's
Captain
just
Under-
like purely punch, and it's annoying as fuck in certain pages.
Yeah, but never for, like, longer than, like, one page.
Yes, but I don't really read the shonen ones, and so I don't know that.
I don't know. I'm just imagining a manga where you do the Captain Underpants, put your thumb here, and flip through to see the fight scene play out.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I guess if I manage to get us through Alabasta, whether I have us watch the movie or I just try to submit the anime a few times, we'll do this again when we've finished Alabasta to see how you guys are feeling after that. So,
Okay.
like, comment, subscribe. Go check out One Piece, everyone. It's fucking fantastic. I know that it is prohibitively long, but it is worth it if you're willing to sink the time into either the anime or manga.
Do as we say, not as we do. Go read the manga.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.